Now so far we've defined a welcome function which simply prints hello and welcome and then how are you. Now we haven't written it so far, but the first string that we include after the function header is called the docstring and is short for documentation string. Now we use a docstring to briefly explain what a function does. Now although a docstring is an optional consideration to include, documentation is a good programming practice, which is why I'm bringing it up early. Unless you can remember everything you do years down the line, always document your code. It not only helps you, but it will help others who interact with functions that you define, and everyone's a winner. So let's create a docstring for our welcome function. So after the colon, I'm going to press return, and then I'm going to use 3 triple quotes, and we use triple quotes for docstrings. I'm then going to put this function will welcome the user and ask them how they are doing. I can then run this code. Now when I run the function, we still print hello and welcome, how are you? And the docstring is not printed, and this is to be expected. So in the above example, we have a docstring immediately below the function header. Now the reason we use triple quotes is so that docstrings can extend across multiple lines. And what's really useful about this is that this docstring that we've defined is available to us as the dunder attribute of this function. This may sound confusing, so let me explain what I mean. If I print welcome, which is the function name, dot, and then we access the doc attribute by placing dunder, and dunder just meaning double underscore, you can see that we get this function will welcome the user and ask them how they are doing. So a user is able to call this attribute to see the documentation behind this function. And if we think about it, lists are a built-in data structure that someone has created, and they have also included a docstring for us. So if we are to print an empty list and access the dunder attribute on a list object, you can see that we get back built-in mutable sequence. If no argument is given, the constructor creates a new empty list. The argument must be an iterable if specified. So we can get documentation on different objects in Python, and when it comes to us creating our own functions, we should also utilize docstrings in order to provide other users clarity as to what this function intends to do. So 2 things to take away from this video. Try to get into the practice of creating and writing a docstring in your own user-defined functions. It will help you and others when using your function. And you can also use the dunder attribute and call it on objects of choice in order to get the documentation on that specific object or function that you're calling the attribute on. So keep this in mind.